Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Today we're playing Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane. We're continuing on from where we left last night, at the end of the first part of the first chapter. So sit back, relax, and I hope things go well. As we've said in the chat, this is a baby-friendly stream. It's friendly to my baby, and that means we might take regular breaks to check on the baby. Although I normally do stream only when she's been put to sleep, sometimes, as babies do, they get up, they run on their own schedule. So appreciate your kindness and understanding for when that does happen. Otherwise, I look forward to living this experience with you. I've really been looking forward to this game, and the first part of it has been really promising, so yeah. Okay, we're just going to do a quick audio check, so bear with me. We're just gonna do a mic check. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Yep, that works. Okay, let's get started. You follow the Inquisition back to the city where Celeste is being detained. According to Miss Timora, Celeste was the prime suspect in Flintheart's murder. And due to the supposed nature of the crime, her case would be pushed to trial immediately. But many elements of the situation still don't make sense. The Inquisition only investigates crimes committed using magic. So, why is Celeste their prime suspect? Could she be a mage? This is ridiculous. She has the right to speak to an attorney. Anyways, you find yourself met with another hurdle, a very incompetent one. This guy is wearing a really sharp uniform underneath the raggedy-looking coat. Yeah, well, we can't let you see her until she's been processed. Her trial is in an hour. How has she not been processed? I don't know what to tell you, kid. I wish I could help. You don't need to use the eye to know that's a complete lie. So, you're really planning on defending her? Do you know if she can even afford a lawyer? I just can't stand here and do nothing. You saw that, didn't you? There's no way she would murder her own father. I know that look. I was saving this for a special occasion, but... Whoa, Attorney's Runestone. Clue, a magical runestone that allows you to take pictures of crime scenes and write notes telepathically. Goddamn. Every attorney has one. It's almost like a badge for them. Almost. This is... an attorney's runestone? If you're going to defend her, you're going to need one. Oh, you know what? Here's something I haven't turned on in a while. Hang on. I'm not sure if it's going to work. What I was trying to do is reauthorize stream avatars to appear on my screen. Authorization success. Okay, let's see. Connect. Okay, I'm not sure then. Let's try. Just a minute. Not done this in a while, so let's see. Ah, that worked. Where are we? Okay. Awesome stuff. Now let's go. Let's do this. Alright. That should now appear. Stream Avatars is back live. I just realized I love this feature so much, but I've never gotten around to it. Holy crack, that text box is huge. I'm sure I can fix that later. It's not like I have too many people overcrowding this at the moment anyway. If you're going to defend her, you're going to need one. You begin to tear up. You've wanted one of these since you were a child. It's basically a badge of honor for attorneys. Yeah, we get it. It's a badge. It's a badge, isn't it? Don't cry, Cuthbert. Sorry. Anyways, keep this in mind. If you try to defend her, the Inquisition isn't going to fight you fairly. Our court system only exists to create the illusion of justice. Wow, as an actual lawyer, that statement burns. Like, goddamn, what kind of shit country do you live in? They hate people like us, and they'll do everything in their power to sabotage you. Right, so a country where the judiciary is corrupt, but the lawyers are fine. Okay. Damn it, you knew that they tried to get in their way, but you didn't expect them to do it this blatantly. Ugh, what's with all this noise? You all have the same, like, torn up coat over the same sharp-looking uniform. Oh no, your uniform's a bit torn up here. You're that knight from the tavern. Occupation knight, age 64. Arcane art none. 64, damn it, Gramps. That's Commando Orin White to you, kid. Oh, I forgot that it flashes like that. Name, Orin White. Occupation knight. Oh, that side frame, I love it. Look at that. I had a feeling Timora would be sniffing around this case. But I didn't expect her to send a kid to do her dirty work. Commander, he says he wants to talk to the mage. And she's got a right to an attorney, doesn't she? Oh, you seem up. Well, she hasn't been processed. Commander White looks confused for a moment. The hell kind of bullshit are you trying to pull? Oh, he is on the up and up. Let him through, you idiot. Hi! Stream Avatars is back! But I haven't adjusted the font size, so like it's like tiny itty bitty avatars and huge text. Yeah, I haven't fixed it. It's okay. What do you miss? We just started, so leaving off from the last episode, where Celeste was arrested. We came to the cell to try and speak to her as her attorney, and we got a rune stone from a mentor saying, oh, since you're going to defend her anyway, here's a rune stone badge, which is basically like an attorney's badge, but it functions as a camera and a notebook, but in a magic way, alright? Just bear with me. And then we came to the cell to try and speak to her as a lawyer, and the guard was like, oh, you can't see her, she's not been processed yet. And we're like, what the hell are you talking about? Her trial is in an hour and she hasn't been processed yet? What kind of incompetent bullshit is this? And then the guard's boss, this dude, like, he's a knight. His name is Orin White. He came along, and he's like, what do you do? What's the problem here? And the guard's like, oh, he wants to see the prisoner, sir. And he's like, so? Let him through. And before this, our mentor gave us a bit of context that, the judiciary in this country basically exists just to give the illusion of justice. And the lawyers are fighting against that or something. So, like, yeah, but this guy seems on the up and up, you know? So we'll see. The armor looks cool. I know, it really does. It's got a little scuff on it, but yeah. This guy's suit is sharp. He hasn't seen as much. He's like, yes, sir! The knight leads you through the halls of the dungeon. God damn, it's a dungeon. BRB as you connect your keyboard to your iPad. Alright, good luck. For something built in the capital, it looks extremely old and decrepit. Is that how you pronounce that word? Ugh. Prisoners. Oh. You pick up the negative emotions of the prisoners nearby. It's a heavy and almost crushing feeling. You've always had to avoid crowded places because of how sensitive you are to people's thoughts. Oh, that's very interesting. And you've never felt this much concentrated despair before. Hello, Celeste. Oh, it's you! She's happy to see us. Celeste was lying down on the cold floor of the dungeon. Damn! But she immediately gets up as soon as she sees you. What are you doing here? Miss Tamora told me about what happened to your father. I'm so sorry. I just don't understand. I don't understand any of this. Why would someone do this? She's angry and sad. And why are they blaming me for it? I'm not sure about the details, but it's clear that there were elements of magic involved in what happened. Wait! Oh no, okay. Since they arrested you based on that evidence, I can only conclude one thing. Celeste, you're a mage, aren't you? There's no sense in hiding it anymore. So these are her thoughts, if I remember correctly. Yes, I am. Do you have noble blood? Of course not. Why would you say that? Wow. I mean, it makes sense that no one common wants to be associated with the nobles if the nobles are known to be corrupt. Sorry, but the ability to use magic is genetic. Most mages tend to have some kind of noble blood. Calling it out, she's adopted. OMG, gonna watch on your TV and comment using your iPad is the best. Oh, that sounds so fun. Oh, yeah, that's not fair. Your screen's even bigger than mine. I honestly don't like thinking about that. When I move to my new apartment, I'm gonna set up a proper streaming place. Like, a proper streaming setup. And that's gonna be fun. I'm the daughter of Jolene and Flinhart McCoy. She's adopted. She's totally adopted. That's all I need to know about myself. It would probably be best not to push the matter further. Anyways, you were arrested because you're a mage. What? A crime was committed using magic. And you were the only mage around at the time. Is that seriously the only reason? I only know how to cast one spell, and it's transmutation, is it? The Arcane Inquisition doesn't care about the truth. They only care about closing their cases. I wonder what's motivating this. Is there like a bonus, like a KPI they have to meet? Celeste, your case is being pushed to trial. Or is it simply a case of like people being too lazy as shit to actually do their job? You're going to be brought before a judge in an hour. What? No one told me anything. Damn it, you weren't even planning on telling her? If you'll have me, I'd like to be your defense attorney in the coming trial. Right, I forgot that you were an attorney. What's really puzzling for me right now is, like, if she's a mage, then everyone else must be as shocked as Tyrion was to be like, oh wow, she's a mage, so she must have some noble blood in her or something. So why are they treating someone who's potentially noble like a piece of shit? Like, what's going on? If the judiciary is corrupt and the prison works for the rich, i.e. the nobility and the king, why are they treating her like crap? I mean, confuzzlement. But maybe we'll find out. Would you really do that for me? After everything I've seen them do, I can't just stand by and do nothing. But they're part of the kingdom. Do I even have a chance? It's hopeless, she's thinking. Man, king, or god, I won't let them do anything to you. Big words, boy, big words. What? Sorry, it's just something I have a habit of saying. You have a habit of saying at the age of 12. No, don't apologize. Does happy and sad at the same time mean cringe? Because that's kind of where I'm headed at the moment. I really appreciate you doing this. It's clear this entire situation is bittersweet for her. And because of the Inquisition's delays, you haven't had any time to investigate the crime scene. Sounds about right. Oh dear. You were confident before, but you begin to doubt whether or not you could really do this. Everything is happening so fast. It feels unreal. No, you have to do this. This is the exact reason why you became a lawyer. No matter what happens, you'll acquit Celeste. Big words, boy. Big words. Big words. You just met this girl yesterday. A courtroom. I'm in a real courtroom. Are you okay? You look like you're about to fall down. Actually, entering the courtroom took a lot of the wind out of your sails. Oh lord. You've never been here as an attorney before. You've only ever been Mr. Moore's assistant. I must say that the crowd chatter is like zero point 0.4 seconds, zero point 0.4 of a second long, and then just looping. Sorry. Arya Steelwind, the woman at the prosecutor's bench, is staring at you. Miss Tamura mentioned her before you went to see Celeste. What was her name again? You think it was Arya Steelwind. Oh, I like her design. Very sharpish. Reminds me of a bird somehow. You can feel the coldness of her glare burrowing into you. This gives me such Francesca von Karma vibes. Why is she staring you down? Is she trying to intimidate you? Because it's working. Oh my god. Not Max. Prosecutor Payne became a judge. Payne became a judge. I'm sorry. It's very bad. It's very bad of me. Not all bald men are related. Look, I don't know his name. He is Judge, Occupation Judge, age 80. Okay. Court is now in session for the trial of Celeste McCoy. Oh god, I laughed so hard the baby is rolling. I'm sorry, baby. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Oh, the defense is also ready, Your Honor. He doesn't necessarily sound very ready. Judge, Occupation Judge, age Judge, Arcane Art Judge. I'm gonna wake up the baby. Regardless, let's begin the proceedings. Prosecutor Steelwind, please list the charges. Oh, fancy. The defendant is Celeste McCoy, a mercenary for hire and a registered mage. Oh god damn, her occupation is prosecutor, age 18. Definitely Francesca von Karma vibes. Arcane art evocation. Oh, I love the detailing on her sleeve. What the heck is that? That's gorgeous. Wait, did she just say mercenary? Yeah, I had to take up a job after my family's tavern was shut down. Lol, we're learning this now. Oh, right. That's not exactly the first occupation you choose. Yeah, occupation judge is much better. She's charged with second-degree murder and negligent misuse of the arcane arts. I see, so there was magic involved. Yes, the crime occurred within the McCoy Tavern, a local inn that shut down years ago. Well, this lady has arcane art evocation, so is she nobility, I guess? The locals reported hearing a loud commotion coming from within the building. Hours later, a carriage driver that was nearby checked the disturbance. Hours later? It was then that he found the victim, the defendant's sword still impaling his dead body. That's interesting. The Inquisition has provided an autopsy report and a record of the sword. Are you having fun with the avatars? Autopsy report, Flintheart McCoy. Died after being stabbed from behind with a magical blade. Fatal wound shows heavy traces of transmutation magic. The alleged murder weapon is an ornately designed sword but has no magical properties. Huh. Interesting. Enticing the star. What was the defendant's relationship with the victim? I see that they share the same last name. The murder weapon was her sword? Yeah, that's what the prosecution's alleging. So, like, if it's true, it's like clear cut. But it's because it's so clear cut that it's sus. The defendant is the victim's daughter, but not by blood, I call it. She was adopted into the family when she was an infant. Her birth parents are currently unknown. I see. What a dreadful turn of events. To begin, the prosecution would like to call Commander Orm White to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. Name's Orm White. I'm Commander of the Arcane Inquisition. Orm, please tell the court the details of the Inquisition's investigation. Yeah. Oh my god, he's Gumshoe, isn't he? He's the alternate universe Gumshoe. We got a call late at night. Someone discovered a dead body inside of the McCoy Inn. When we arrived on the scene, we found Flintheart McCoy dead on the floor. The defendant's sword was still inside of him. Look, this is totally the look Gumshoe gives when he, is talking seriously. He, looks into the camera. The only difference is Gumshoe's animation, where he breathes heavily and his trench coat, moves up and down. This guy's not doing it. Essentially, yeah, I think he's Gumshoe. Yeah, I know. He's a much older, mature, more serious Gumshoe parallel, which is fantastic. We have several witnesses who heard the victim and defendant in a loud argument before the body was discovered. Their argument must have turned ugly, because the defendant killed the victim using her magic sword. Isn't that really incriminating? Oh, hello, Dispel Magic. Thank you for following and welcome to the stream. So glad to have you. Hope you enjoyed. This is a delight so far for Ace Attorney fans. We're drawing a lot of parallels. Isn't that really incriminating? One of her possessions is the murder weapon. Doesn't transmutation mean changing one object into another? Magical Phoenix, right? Essentially. I'm seeing a lot of tribute to Ace Attorney and I love it. Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. You open your mouth to respond, but nothing comes out. Yeah, we're screwed. You can't think of anything to say. Gotta support Tadpole Sister. Woohoo! My Tad. Oh, Tadpole. Wait, it's a tadpole? Oh my god. I mean, yeah, of course it's a tadpole. Everything is blank. Everything is blank. Mr. Cuthbert? Hey, what are you doing? This is the part where you say something, right? I'm sorry, I don't. Your anxiety is just getting worse, and your breaths are becoming more and more desperate. Ooh, boy. Are you hyperventilating? What a disappointment. I was hoping to fight against the infamous Ruby Timura today. But it's clear you can't even hold a candle to her. Your Honor, it's clear that the defense has nothing to say against the prosecution's overwhelming evidence. Yep, this case is pretty open and shut. No, wait. This isn't what's supposed to happen. I'm sorry, Tyrion. I couldn't acquit Frey. She was found guilty. Oh, is this a flashback? It is, that's why it's muted. What? But that means... Are they going to execute her? No, not again. Are you seriously going to let that happen again? Oh, we're PTSD flashbacking. Tyrion! Celeste grabs your shoulders and shakes you out of your panic. Honestly, I'm shocked Timura survived. I freaking know. Well, don't speak so quickly. We're still in Chapter 1. Mia, too, survived Chapter 1. You need to calm down. Her gaze is calm and focused despite the gravity of the situation. But she looks stern, not angry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to... Stop. Just listen to me. You know what to do, right? She has such confidence in us. Ugh. Just do it the same way you play chess. What? I don't know, you were just so calm and focused when we were playing before. No matter how close I got to beating you, you always knew how to stay calm and win. So just channel that feeling and look at the pieces? That doesn't make any sense, and yet... You take a moment to focus and let everything else disappear from the world. If he slaps his cheeks with both hands, I'll cry. Every statement that he made, every word that came out of his mouth, each of those is a possible weakness that you could attack. Every bleak moment can be turned around. Ha ha ha! You just need to consider every angle. Kind of feel like someone made this game because Apollo basically has magic powers in a way. Yeah, I feel like this is like someone was a huge fan of the Ace Attorney series and was like, but what if magic? And this is the result, and I love it. Flip the chessboard. Oh my god, please, please let that line appear. My apologies for the delay, Your Honor. The defense is ready to begin cross-examining the witness. I mean, as far as fanfic goes, this is a pretty great AU so far. Umineko 100. Yep. Oh my god, now I want to read Umineko. It, I mean, I know there are copyright issues, but I would love to do an Umineko reading on, like, stream. That would be so cool. Very well. There we go. Thank god that worked. Carefully examine every statement he made and find something that contradicts the evidence in your notes. Once you do that, present the contradicting evidence and prove that this testimony is false. Umineko When They Cry was originally a game, you know. Yeah, a visual novel game. Oh, that's like 100 hours worth of stream, isn't it? Ooh, that was loud in my ears, but I hope it was alright for you guys. Ideas. You know what? The writer of Umineko, what's his name? Ryosuke07? Or something like that? He is currently working on a new Silent Hill game. And after that, he's going to complete a third When They Cry series, one that follows after Higurashi and Umineko. And this third series is apparently going to be about a bunch of people trying to prevent the occurrence of World War IV, and it sounds amazing. Ryu07, yeah! I love it. I like cannot wait. But the great part is, in order for that game to come out, he has to first finish the development of the new Silent Hill game, which is also great news. So this is all good. Ryu07 is a gift. You're cross-examining a witness. Carefully examine. Maybe when that game comes out, we can play it on stream because that would be so good. Carefully examine each statement they made and find a statement that contradicts a clue, a spell, or a profile in your notes. Once you identify the false statement, click the present button and present the contradicting evidence to move forward. Okay, we got a call late at night on this. So this is basically press and object, right? Let's ask for more. At what time did you get this call, and who discovered the body? The call came in at 1:25 a.m. As for the witness who discovered it, he wanted to remain incognito. Sus. It's not unusual for a witness to stay anonymous. It's well within their rights. This is true, by the way, even in real-life court cases. Like, it's very rare that a court can compel a witness to come. Not rare. There are conditions that have to be met. So if you just discovered a crime, it's not really necessary to call you to court unless the court thinks that you would have something substantial to contribute. But this would be a lot easier if you could question the witness directly. What happened when you arrived, Commander? When we arrived at the scene, we found Flintheart McCoy dead on the floor. The defendant's sword was still beside him. How did you know that the sword was my client's? Yeah, that's important. Her sword is made out of some kind of special alloy. I think it was forged out of country or something. It'd be hard to mistake something like that. Lol, she's an isekai from another world. We also have several eyewitnesses who verified that the sword belonged to the defendant. She made no effort to hide it from the public. I need a new good isekai to read. I'm like, out. Quite to the contrary, she was quite proud to show it off. But even if the sword belongs to my client, that doesn't necessarily mean that she was the one who stabbed him. Yep, the most basic counter-argument. Yeah, well... We have several witnesses who heard the victim and defendant in a loud argument before the body was discovered. Even we can say that, so... How did they know it was my client and the victim that were arguing? You were there, weren't you? You had to have heard them. Every witness we talked to could tell it was them. Roll that smile. Your Honor, it's clear that the defense is playing devil's advocate. Even he should have recognized their voices. Really? Well, they got you there. Their argument must have turned ugly because the defendant killed the victim using her magic sword. That's conjecture. Weren't there plenty of people around who could have committed the crime? That tavern has been closed for years. The defendant and the victim were the only ones there before the body was discovered. Plus, the murder weapon definitely belonged to her. It'll be hard to prove that someone else was at the crime scene, but you can't help but feel that there's something off about what he just said. You shouldn't have panicked so much before. His testimony is straightforward, but that will actually make this easier. Assuming that Miss McCoy is innocent, there has to be a flaw in his logic. You just need to compare every statement to each piece of evidence in the court record. Once you find a contradiction, present it to the contradicting statement. Okay, what's my court record again? Is it this? Yes, it is. Phoenix tapping the papers have changed to staring at a screen. Magical but so modern. I know, it's great. I know the budget was probably limited for this, but this would be so cool animated. That just speaks to how well it's done so far. Died being stabbed from behind with a magical blade. He was stabbed to death with a magical blade, but has no magical properties. Oh, how come I'm the only one with a profile thingy? Everyone else is just basic stuff. Well, okay. Died being stabbed from behind. Let's see. Still inside of him. The defendant using a... Oh! Well, the sword has no magical properties. Jesus Christ. Commander White, you testified that the victim was killed using the defendant's magical sword. Am I correct? Yeah, it's pretty obvious when you look at the crime scene. Oh, that table slap. I think I'd actually have to disagree with you on that. The defendant's sword couldn't possibly have been the murder weapon. What are you talking about, kid? The sword was inside his body. Of course that's what killed him. That may be the case, but take a look at the autopsy report. It states that the fatal wound had heavy traces of magic. I like this music, by the way. So how could a non-magical sword leave traces of magic on the body? What? This is wow. Great, I love it. Really nice. I'm just admiring the work of art. To leave a trace like that, the wound would have had to have been created with something magical. My client's sword may look fancy and expensive, but it is entirely mundane. That doesn't make a lick of sense. If the sword didn't kill him, then why was it in the body? Yes, I find that quite strange as well. I can't... He's Payne. This is Judge Payne as far as I'm concerned. Well, there's only one reasonable explanation, Your Honor. The wound was created magically, and someone shoved the sword into the wound afterwards. The hell are you talking about? The defendant is a damn mage. You're using a circular argument here. She could have easily killed the victim using magic. That may be, Commander, but why would she kill the victim using magic and then stab him with her sword? She would just be incriminating herself. Ribble, rabble, ribble, rabble. No, if anything, this series of events proves one thing. Someone used magic to kill the victim, and then they pushed my client's sword in the wound to frame her. Objection! Oh, I got her voice pretty good. Don't get ahead of yourself. What? Your Honor, the defense is trying to spin the facts in his favor. He claims that a third party committed the crime and used the sword to frame the defendant. But wouldn't the simpler explanation be this? Was she holding a cane? Magic was being channeled through the sword at the time of death. That is what left the magical trace on the body. Commander, please tell the defense how the murder was committed using magic. What? Alright. I think I see where you're going with this. Whew. It's true that the sword itself ain't magical, but magic can still be channeled through it. That defendant over there, her spell compendium, has a spell called Mage Blade. She must have used it on her sword before stabbing the victim. That spell is the reason why there were traces of transmutation magic on the wound. So her spell compendium contains a spell called Mage Blade. Sorry, let me do that. So, her spell compendium contains a spell called Mage Blade. A spell compendium is a magical device that lists every spell a mage is able to cast. Luckily, Celeste's compendium only contains one spell. I don't know why when I read that, it's like it had to come out in the South Park Cartman voice. Mage Blade. That means she can only cast the one spell. Celeste, do you have your spell compendium with you? Is it something you carry with you? No, I left it at the tavern after. Well, you know, if you can't look at the description for Mage Blade, you'll have to approach this another way. The commander's testimony was a lot vaguer this time. If you can press his statements, you might be able to find new information that you can use against him. Let's go. Oh, I was pressing the life out of his statements earlier. Are you saying that my client used a spell and channeled it through her sword? There are a vast number of spells that operate like that. Spells from the School of Transmutation are almost always channeled through an object. Okay. Mage Blade. It's a transmutation spell that sharpens my sword. I usually use it when I need to cut through an enemy's plate armor. You didn't realize that she led such a lethal lifestyle. But anyways, wouldn't it be excessive for the defendant to use a spell like that on the victim? He wasn't wearing any kind of armor at the time of death. The victim and the defendant were in an intense argument. Perhaps she used the spell in a fit of rage. It was a crime of passion after all. I'm surprised not everyone leads a lethal lifestyle for some reason. I know, given like the gap between the rich nobility and the poor, like it's amazing not everyone is a crook. Well, the merchant we met wasn't one of the crooks, like I suppose a milder version. Ugh, that theory is a little far-fetched, but you'll need hard evidence if you want to disprove it. What? Oh, if I want to disprove that it was not a crime of passion. She must have used it on her sword before stabbing the victim. You know, I'm just saying, but couldn't we cut all this short by saying, yes, by testifying that yes, they argued, but we met Flynn, God, what's his name? Shit. We met Flynn Hart McCoy after the argument, like directly. He was still alive. We spoke to him. She must have used it on her sword before stabbing the victim. But why would she go to the trouble of doing that? Her sword alone would have been enough to commit the murder. Mages are always looking for an excuse to throw their power around. Objection, Your Honor. Conjecture. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Yeah, isn't that just your own personal bias, Commander? We don't need to understand why the defendant did what she did. Don't you need— Oh, your motive is crime of passion, okay. The fact of the matter is that magic was present at the crime. Do you have any evidence of the contrary? You don't. Yet. If she used a spell like that, wouldn't it have created traces of magic on the ground? How so? Well, let's say we follow the prosecution's theory. That would mean that the victim fell to the ground with the sword still inside him. At this point, Mage Blade would still be active, right? It would definitely leave a magical trace on the ground after making physical contact with it. Wow, I like this space. I can't explain why though. We're already way ahead of you. This is also a dumb shoe face. We had our people scan the crime scene, and we found traces of transmutation magic on the ground, just like you said. Oh, if you still don't believe me, I have a picture of the crime scene and the scan right here. Yeah, come on, offer the lawyer more evidence, it's great. Huh? Why was this picture not brought to my attention? I half expected her to say, "You idiot, I told you to shut up about that picture." There was no need. This entire case is open and shut. A picture of the crime scene, an alternate version shows traces of magic detected. Crime scene picture. Can we look at it now? Okay, this looks bad, but where's the traces of magic bit? Also, he's got huge hands. An alternate— where are the traces of magic? Hello? Actually, This is her sword, and it looks nothing like what's in the picture. What's going on? I'm confused. You've seen pictures of the dead before, but it feels a little different now that the body is of someone you knew. That's what you said. Looks like there are traces of magic on the ground. My dude, all I see on the ground is a really good wasted bottle of beer and like blood everywhere. Didn't you say it's a gunblade? Yeah, I thought it was a gunblade. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. More importantly, what is this symbol? It doesn't appear anywhere. Oh, shoot. It doesn't appear anywhere on this. What is this? What's wrong? Is everyone in this courtroom blind? The shape is a little weird, isn't it? Yeah, come on. The shape is weird. Yeah, she has realized. What was that just now? You can see it right in this photo. She killed him with a stab from the front. Naha died after being stabbed from behind. Objection! Behind! I'm sorry, Commander White. But it seems you've presented another glaring contradiction. I mean, in the first place, that's not her sword. Someone say something about it. Explain transmutation to me. Oh yeah? And what's that? You said that my client stabbed the victim from the front. Am I correct? Yeah, you can see it plain in that picture. So where's your contradiction? That's the thing, Commander. Your picture clearly shows that the victim was stabbed from the front. But the autopsy report says he died from a stab from behind. Look, it's amazing that the autopsy report... Didn't that music just remind you of Ace Attorney? Anyway, the autopsy report, I'm surprised they can tell that it was a stab from behind after seeing that huge-ass sword, gun blade, piece of wood shoved in through what I assume must have been the same wound. What? Orin, you were supposed to release everything that you had. Why wasn't this photo given to me? There was no need. There's no way it could have been anyone other than that damn mage. Oh, your biases are showing. Murmurs rang out across the gallery. It didn't matter how corrupt the justice system was. They wouldn't be able to cover up such blatant incompetence. Is it just because he looked really short? You have them right where you want them. I'm gonna pretend he's like a whole 2 heads taller and he's actually standing like there's a hole in the ground behind the desk. Payne is upset. Order! Order in the court! Mr. Cuthbert, what is the meaning of this? I'll tell you what the meaning behind this is, Your Honor. As the autopsy report states, the victim died from a stab wound originating from his back. But this photo clearly shows that the sword entered from his front. This can only mean one thing. The sword was inserted into the wound after the fatal wound had already been created. That's crazy! You honestly expect us to believe that? As we see more of this game, I actually wonder how they avoided lawsuit. It's different enough. There's the keywords for intellectual property protection are sufficient. Oh gosh, I forgot the 3 things. I think it's skill, creativity, and judgment. And this clearly utilized a lot of skill, creativity, and judgment. And they never said it was an Ace Attorney game, so they can't be said to be passing off. They just say, oh, you know, it's Ace Attorney inspired, which protects it in the same way that most people, that there's so many like Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley lookalikes, but they all get their own copyright protection. So yeah, same thing. The rhythm of the song is the same. The objection to things, I know, it's great. How else would the sword be facing the opposite way? Do you think my client stabbed the victim with the hilt of her sword? Lol. I didn't think so. What really happened is clear. The real murderer stuck the sword through the victim's wound to implicate my client. But they made a careless mistake and stuck the sword through the opposite side. Jackson! Hilt stab. Huh. It seems that I underestimated you, Mr. Cuthbert. But you've still gotten ahead of yourself. How so? Really, Miss Stillwind, I'd have thought that Mr. Cuthbert had adequately cast doubt on your case. Is that vocal I hear in the soundtrack? Holy shit. Oh, did he now? Then let me ask you one question, Mr. Cuthbert. If your client didn't kill Flintheart McCoy, then who did? How should I know? If I'm not mistaken, it's the commander's job to figure it out. I love it. I love it that he hit on the head the problem, or rather the paradox that has to happen for the exit-only games to succeed, which places burden of proof on the defense. Technically not for me to prove. Yeah! Oh, well, I'm well aware of the commander's incompetence, said the 18-year-old of the 64-year-old. But one fact still stands. There was magic detected on the wound and the sword. Would you like for me to tell you how many mages live in that small town? You don't like where she's going with this. Look, it means that the mage came from outside the small town. Just one. Oh, I like the soundtrack. There's only one registered mage in that entire town. And that mage is your defendant. What? The defendant was also established to have been with the victim hours before his death. Duh, she's his daughter. She was the last known person with him, and she was the only mage there. And then we couple that with the witnesses who heard them arguing. How she murdered the victim is simply an unanswered question, one which you're supposed to answer. I see that does change matters. You really are a pain, aren't you? I can't say that the prosecution's evidence is irrefutable. I want to smack your bald shiny head. But there is still evidence that casts guilt upon the defendant. Damn it, you almost had it. There are far too many unanswered questions for me to pass a verdict. We will give law enforcement time to clear these unknowns. I suggest that they conduct their investigation more thoroughly this time. We will resume the trial tomorrow morning. I love that he looks up at the sky as if he's talking to God. I'm like, what is this? Court is adjourned. Whew. Hello, Cuthbert. As you walk out of the courtroom with Celeste, you are greeted by Miss Timora. Miss Timora? You're here? You recall how you froze up during the first cross-examination. You feel a little ashamed that your mentor saw all of that. Well, at the end of the day, you were able to pull it together. And once you did that, you performed adequately. On that note, I wanted to give you this. Oh, she found a spell compendium. Celeste's spell compendium is an old dusty journal. It contains the formula for the following spell, Mage Blade. Oh my god, it looks like Ragnarok. School evocation, incantation, arcane. Duration 1 minute, concentration, yes. Concentration? Yes. For the duration of this spell, the edges of this object, usually a blade, become unnaturally sharp, making it more effective at slashing through tough material. Whilst under the effects of this spell, the object emits a yellow radiant glow. The target object must be no larger than a 5-foot cube. 5-foot cube is pretty big. I'm 5 foot tall. My spell compendium? I swiped it from the dining area before the Inquisition arrived. I thought it'd be best for you to have it. So, this is your spell compendium. And it only has one spell. Arcane! I know, right? By the power of Arcane! Mage Blade. Which means that the prosecution has to prove that Celeste used that specific spell. It will restrict how they approach this case, which gives you an edge over them. But that prosecutor is really something else. Her hand in front of her mouth, doesn't Maya have that pose too? Yeah, and when she crosses her arms, like, not Maya, Mia. Mia had that pose, I think. Or are you talking about Celeste? If Celeste, yes, Maya had that pose. Mia, with this Ruby Tamora character, has the same pose where her right arm, her right hand, in this cross position, the fingers are extended upwards. I think that Mia does that as well. Part of you is like, how? Yeah, like I said, the same way there's a lot of Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing lookalikes. But, I'm impressed, and also I hope we get to play this game to completion before anyone decides that it's too much. If you hear sounds in the background, it's me chewing on a yogurt cube. It's great. But that prosecutor is really something else. You mean Prosecutor Steelwind? You can still remember her ripping glare. It gives you chills just thinking about it. You wouldn't even know it, but this was also her first trial. Oh my god. Really? Oh, Celeste did one hand in front of her mouth. I think Maya does both hands. I thought that her inexperience would make for a good first opponent. She's 18 and standing in court. But that girl, she's a natural in the courtroom. It makes me wonder why a Steelwind would choose to become an attorney in the first place. What do you mean? The Steelwinds are a powerful noble house. Of the noble families, they are one of the few who answer directly to the king. Most members of their house take high-ranking positions in the kingdom's military. So it's a bit strange that she chose to become a prosecutor despite that. Steelwind. I feel like I've certainly heard it before. In any case, it's best that you focus on the trial. You have about a day until court resumes. Right, now that I have some time, I'd like to ask you some questions, Celeste. Namely, about that argument you had with your father. You feel like you've heard it before too? Oh. You see the bailiff staring daggers at Celeste. It looks like they're waiting to take her back to her cell. Whatever questions you have for her will have to wait. I should probably go. Celeste walks away while avoiding eye contact with you. Bringing up her argument with Flintheart may have struck a nerve. It wasn't me, I didn't have a choice, I didn't do nothing. I'll also use this opportunity to investigate the crime scene. I wouldn't be surprised if the Inquisition missed something. Well, after today, aren't they all going to be swarming over that place like an ant over sugar? You utterly embarrassed them today. Don't expect them to make the same mistake twice. Exactly. Right, there's still a lot of things we don't know about. As much as I hate to admit it, your skills of deduction far surpass mine. If anyone can figure out what really happened that night, it's you. Oh, we've reached the end. And it took us almost another hour. We didn't have to do any baby breaks because baby's been good. This is great. Fantastic time to stop, actually. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but the pose. What's wrong with that chalk outline? What is up with that? It's dancing, it's doing the jiggy. I mean, just try and lie on the floor in that position. Also, that's not how it looked like in the photo. Look at this. What the shit? These policemen aren't even trying. How did this become this? I guess you could lie in that position if you had a sword through you or not, I don't know. No, you could. You definitely could, especially if it's been stabbed from behind. You could totally fall face planted into the ground like that. But but what the hell? Oh god, I hate to be... Maybe that's a plot point. Yeah, maybe it's intentional. Maybe it is a plot point. Now the question is, do I want to continue this? Now, I think I'll stop for today and we'll pick up tomorrow. I'll try to do it a little bit earlier because it's now almost 3 a.m. here and baby's due to wake up in 4 hours, so it's a good place to stop. I think 1 hour portions, 1 hour per part of a chapter is great. The pacing is great, the timing is great. Yeah, and it's been fun so far. Body was moved. I know. Body was yeeted. It was not just moved. It was yeeted. It was not like he fell and died and then it was nudged a little and that's how the chocolate. No, it was yeeted from one position to another. And the police came and they were like, "Well, you know what? Maybe someone came and like did the autopsy, removed the body." And the police were like, "Wait." Or the Inquisition, sorry. They were like, "Wait, we haven't done the chalk outline." "Ah, who cares? Just do one." Which is what they did. I'm not over this. As far as I'm concerned, that chalk outline is the most interesting thing in this screen cap. I also feel like the picture in this frame on the right reminds me of something I saw in a manga, but I don't know. Anyway, it's all great. This on the left looks like a dark goth version, a gothic black magic version of the America We Want You poster that they had. Like, this is Abraham Lincoln in the USA outfit pointing at the viewer and saying, "We want you to join the army," blah blah blah. And this looks like a goth version of it. It's funny because the bottle is in the right position, but it definitely looks like someone rolled him onto his back. Yeah, I know, right? Well, I guess we'll find that out. I'm sure we'll examine that tomorrow when we pick up again. So, thank you very much for joining. It's been great. We've had no baby breaks, which is fantastic. And I really enjoy this game. I'm having fun. I always get worried when someone makes a game and it's like inspired by or a unofficial spin-off of or AU of another game that did really well. Like, there's a lot of Stardew Valley lookalikes that I hate, but this one is paying homage and standing on its own pretty well so far. It doesn't feel like a cheap knockoff. Yeah, Aviary Attorney was great too. You're right. Like, basically when they put enough love into the game and you can feel that they did not just love the original, but they loved this version. It becomes its own thing, which is great. And like, I can't wait to play this to the end. I hope the story writing does it judgment. Really cool, really excited. So, yay! Let's continue tomorrow, and I'm really looking forward to finishing this on stream with you guys. Thank you for joining, and thank you for the new follow. I'll get it. Dispel Magic. Thank you for the new follow. And come back tomorrow whenever you can. Yes, Dispel Magic. Come back tomorrow if you can. If not, feel free to catch the VOD on my Twitch channel. I will be trying to download the VODs and put them on YouTube. Maybe slightly edited so people can rewatch. Alright, have a good evening, everyone. Stay chill, stay hydrated, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye!